Welcome back, everyone, for another yoga practice. So, today we're going to do a little bit of a shorter practice, working up to one of my favorite poses, which is tree pose. Balance is also a really important part of yoga. Definitely the flexibility and strength are really important too. But balance is something that we work on quite a bit. And tree pose is one of my absolute favorite poses for working on this. So let's start together in a seated cross-legged position or a seated easy pose of your choice. Remember, throughout the practice, any pose you are going to modify as you need, and whatever your body needs, you're going to listen to that. So just coming into your version of your seated cross-legged position, we're going to let the hands just rest down on the knees or thighs. You can also do palms up if that feels a little more where you're at today. So usually we say palms down for more grounding, and then palms up if you feel more like you want to open to receive all kinds of good things throughout your practice. So whatever you decide on is great. And then just making sure the chest is open, maybe rolling the shoulders up and back, and then head in line with your spine, just a slight tuck of your chin, and then closing your eyes when you're ready. So as we settle in, we're going to take a moment just to make any last minute adjustments and then just come to some stillness. And then just noticing the flow of your breath. Oh, we're just watching our inhales and our exhales. You're just noticing how the air flows into the chest and into feeling expansion in your belly as well on the inhale. And then on the exhale, feeling that release and softening of your chest and belly. So gradually, we're accessing a deeper quality of breath. And when you're ready on your next inhale, we're going to inhale for a count of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause at the top. And then exhale to a count of 4. 2, 3, 4. Pause. Inhale, count of 4. 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale, count of 4. 2, 3, 4. So doing a few more rounds like this, keeping your own count. Inhale 4, pause. Exhale 4, pause. Remembering to pause at the top of the inhale. And pause at the bottom of the exhale. Let's do 2 more full cycles. Last one. And after your last exhale, just releasing this technique and coming back into your natural breath. And taking a notice now of how your body feels. So noticing starting down at your feet and your legs, Just noticing the weight of your feet and legs on the mat and noticing any sensation in that area. And then bringing your attention to your hips and your seat, feeling where you're connected again to the mat. Now bringing your attention up to your belly, noticing any movement there, any sensation. And if you're feeling any tension in that area in your belly, a lot of people hold a lot of tension there. Take a deep breath again and see if you can totally soften the belly on your exhale. And then bringing your attention up to your chest, feeling the movement with your inhales and exhales in your chest. On your next exhale, softening your shoulders, feeling the weight of your arms and hands. Softening now your jaw and your tongue. Softening all the muscles of your face, even the little muscles around your eyes. Now feeling your whole body in the space at once. And now taking a moment just to notice how you're feeling overall. So emotionally, are you carrying anything with you today? And that's fine if you are, but we're just bringing some awareness to it. We're just noticing. How are we feeling today? Where are we at today? Giving it some space. Noticing any thoughts that are coming up for you in the moment with kindness. You're just observing. Your mind might be busy or it might be calm and quiet. So you're just noticing where your thoughts are at in this moment. And then taking this moment now to set your intention for your practice. So this is your reason for coming to the mat today. So I intend to. I will let you fill that in for yourself. And once you've set that intention, feel free to slowly open your eyes and bring yourself back into the space. Take a big breath in and out. Allow yourself just to arrive back in the space. All right. We're going to bring a little movement back into our fingers. And as we do that, we're slowly going to tilt, take your time, your left ear towards the left shoulder, and just a gentle rock forward and back. So just waking up the neck. I've been doing a lot of riding in the car over the last few days, and I can really feel that tension in my neck and in my shoulders. So we'll do a little work on those as well. Deep breath. And as I breathe, I'm going to take my right fingertips just out to the right, because I feel like that would create a little more stretch that I need today. But if you are already feeling a good amount of stretch with that hand on the thigh, you can just leave it there. So just a gentle rock forward and back, again with the deep breath that we were working on. And on your next exhale, we're going to bring the chin, we're just going to roll it forward and chin down to chin or down to chest. Couple breath here, lengthening the back of the neck. One more breath in and out. Your next inhale, let's slowly roll the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then let's pause here for a few more breaths. So again, you can take the fingertips out to the left if that you feel you like that added stretch. Couple more breaths. Deep breath in. And then out, let's come chin to chest. And then let's just flow with our breath. So inhaling towards the left, semicircles. Exhaling, chin to chest. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Exhale to chest. And then just flow with your breath for a couple more semicircles. And the next time, take your time, there's no rush. Your right ear comes to the right shoulder. Just pause for one more breath. And then release, head up to center. We're going to do a few shoulder shrugs while we're here. So on the inhale, we're going to bring those shoulders right up to your ears. You can use your hands to really create that push up, and then exhale, let them drop. A couple more just like that. Inhale up. Exhale, drop. Two more. Nice. Okay. We're going to do some eagle arms here, but before we move into that, we're actually going to take the legs out, whatever position they've been in, out in front, give them a little shake. Flexing and pointing the toes. We've been in that position for a little while. And then we're going to cross the legs in the opposite direction, just to give the hips a slightly different stretch. Okay, so coming into your version of the seated cross leg position in the opposite direction. Nice. Okay, so we will eventually in upcoming videos work on full eagle pose, but today we just want to work on opening up and stretching the shoulders and neck region a little bit. So we'll work on just the upper part of the pose, which is the eagle arms. So we'll start with the right arm. We'll just bring that right arm out in front. So you bring that arm so the elbow makes about a 90-degree angle. Now we all have different flexibility with the shoulder. So I'm going to try and give as many options here as we can. So option one, you're just bringing that left arm under the right elbow. So you might be like right here, and this is great. You probably might be already feeling a nice stretch. Option two, you bring the back of the left hand to the back of the right hand. Okay, so there's option two. So I'm already feeling a really nice stretch. Option three is you wind that left hand around the right one, left arm around the right one, so that the palms meet. Okay, so all are good options. You can be here, you can be here, or you can be here. And then finding your breath. And on an inhale, we're going to bring the elbows up, and you can bring your gaze up. Keep your gaze on the hands. And then on the exhale, we're going to tuck the elbows in as we turn the back and tuck the chin. So it's almost like that cat and cow movement, but we have our eagle arms in place. And it's seated. So inhale again, we're opening up. Elbows up, chin moves up. Exhale, remember the breath leads. We tuck in the elbows and the chin and curve back the spine. So then just flow with your breath here. This is fantastic for getting into the shoulders. And if you're like me, you tend to hold a lot of tension in your shoulders. This is one of my go-tos, one of my favorites. Let's go one more full cycle. your time. Let the breath lead. And after that last exhale, let's inhale up to neutral, up to center, and then just releasing the arms back down to the legs. And so taking a pause here for a moment, just feeling the space that you've already created in your shoulders. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Already feels amazing. So let's try the other side. You're going to be just blown away when you see, when we do the other side, how much more space you're able to create here. So we now take the left arm up, 90-degree angle, right arm under. So again, remembering all the options, right? So you might just have that right arm kind of hooking underneath the left elbow, and that's great. Option 2, backs of the hands come together. Option 3, we wind the left or the right arm around the left arm so that the palms meet. Okay, so here we are, eagle arms on the other side. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, we're guiding the elbows up, and we're bringing your gaze up as well. And then exhale, we're tucking the elbows and we're tucking the chin, curving back the spine. And then we flow with our breath. So inhaling up, exhaling, tucking in, taking your time. Let's go one more full cycle. Inhaling, opening up. And then exhale, let's tucking all the way back in. And then inhale, coming up to seated neutral. And then slowly, when you're ready, releasing. Deep breath in and out. And just taking a moment now. Again, tuning into the shoulders, the upper back, your neck, and noticing the space you've created there. And now we're going to take our hands, we're going to interlace the fingers, and we're going to bring our palms out on an inhale. And then exhale, we're going to bring the palms all the way up. Deep breath in, reaching up. Exhale, bringing the palms forward. Now we're going to flow a little more. So inhale, up. And exhale, down. Gaze can be forward or down, chin tucked if that feels better. Inhaling up. Always listen to your neck, right? Whatever feels good on your neck, do that. Necks are very sensitive, especially mine. Inhaling all the way up. Last exhale, coming forward, tucking the chin if that feels good. And then inhaling, come back up into your seated position, releasing the hands. Nice. Okay. Now we're going to bring the hands in front and we're coming into our tabletop position. Hands are right under the shoulders. Fingers are spread wide. Fingertips are pressing down. Knees are under the hips. Toes are either tucked or untucked. Up to you. And then on an inhale, we're going to push into the feet and lift our hips up, coming into downward facing dog. So taking a moment here, I'm going to pedal out the feet. I did some stretching on my trip, but I'm definitely, I can tell, pretty tight today. So I'm going to just take my time with my deep breath and gently get into the shape. You never want to throw yourself, especially if it's been a few days and things will tighten up. It's amazing how quickly that happens. You just want to, with kindness, right? Ease yourself back into it. Let your body remember the shape. All right, inhale. We're going to come up on the balls of the feet and then step our feet forward, coming into a standing forward fold. So let your spine just hang here. Let your arms hang. Let your head hang.
and find your breath. Nice. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we're going to sweep the arms all the way overhead, reaching up, upward salute. Gaze can go up if that's good on your neck. And then exhale, hands down through the heart center. Into mountain, arms out the sides. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Deep breath. One more. All right, inhale, let's sweep those arms all the way up. And then exhale, hands, palms together, down through the midline, hinging at the hips, down into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hands down to the mat, stepping the right foot all the way back, lowering down the back knee, supported low lunge. Make sure the front knee is stacked over the front ankle. If you'd like, on an inhale, you can bring the arms all the way up into full low lunge. Deep breath. Keep the core strong. Shoulders down from your ears. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Stepping the front foot all the way back. Plank position. Deep breath. Exhale, lowering down, knees, chest, and chin, all the way down, untucking the toes. Engage your core. Legs are strong. Let's inhale up into our cobra. Exhale all the way back down. Tucking your toes. On an inhale, coming either up through their tabletop or hips all the way up into your downward facing dog. Deep breath. One more deep breath. Inhale, up on the balls of the feet, stepping the right foot all the way forward. Lowering down the back knee, low lunge on the other side. So just making sure you got that front knee stacked over front ankle. Feeling steady in the foundation. And when you're ready, the option to bring the arms all the way up. Low lunge. Deep breath in and out. One more. Exhale, hands all the way down to the mat, stepping the back foot all the way forward, standing forward fold. Remember, you can always keep a little bend in the knees if that feels better on the hamstrings. Deep breath. Nice. One more deep breath. And then on your next inhale, halfway lift, hands are on the shins or thighs, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's sweep the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, hands down through heart center and down at your sides. Back into mountain pose. All right. And now we're going to transition into our tree pose. So you can stay right at the head of your mat. I'm just going to turn so you can see me. So this is the case with any of our balance poses, is you always want to make sure you're starting by bringing all of your focus and awareness into your rooted foot. So for us, say we're going to start with rooting our left foot. So I'm bringing all my attention down to that left foot. I'm going to actually bring up my 5 toes and then re-grip them right on the mat. So I really feel that connection. Okay. We really want to focus in any pose, to be honest with you, in yoga from the ground up. But this is especially essential with our balance poses. Now, before we go too much further, if you know that balance is something that you are working on, you might be wise to move yourself to a position where there's a wall nearby, so you can just use that for a little support to get started. Okay. So we bring all of our attention now down into our left rooted foot, feeling that our left leg is engaged and strong. Keep a little micro bend in that knee. You don't want it locked. Okay. And then we will now, I'll bring my arms out to the side just for a little more balance, work on moving the right foot. So we can start by just going on the fingertips, the toes of the right foot. There we go. And see how that feels, and you can lift them up. Okay, if that's feeling pretty good, You can then work on bringing the sole of that right foot against the calf. Okay, so it's almost a pushing back of the calf and a pushing all to the midline. The calf is going to the midline, and then the sole of the right foot is going towards the midline. Okay, now if this feels good, you can then work on bringing the sole of the foot against the inner left thigh. And if you're like me and you just fell out, that's fine. That's all part of, these balance poses. I have the choice. I can go back to the foot against the calf, or I can try again with the inner thigh. Just make sure you're avoiding the knee joint with the sole of the foot. You don't want any undue pressure on that knee joint. Okay. So once you're in, you got your foundation worked out, you figured out where that right foot is working best in this moment. You can then work with the hands. So the hands can stay out to the side if that feels best. You can bring the palms together at heart center in prayer mudra, or you can bring the branches of your tree all the way up. And then very helpful tip is finding a focal point ahead of you, an unmoving focal point to focus on. I find that really does help with the balance. And then the trick in these challenging balancing poses is once you're in position is accessing your ease of breath. Are you able to do that? So meeting the challenge with softness of breath. There we go. So going for maybe a few more breaths here. If your tree is like mine and it's swaying in the wind a little, that is totally fine. And remember, if you come out, that's fine. With kindness, when you're ready, you can try and come back in. This is a process, right? And you're going to have great balance days and not so great balance days. But do realize on the not so great balance days, there's still benefit. All right. And then once you are ready to come fully out, you can bring the hands back down and then slowly bringing down that right foot. And taking a deep cleansing breath, maybe two, just to let all of that go. Okay. And then taking a moment, let's bring a little TLC to that left ankle. Here we go. Okay. All right. And then when you're ready, we can transition to the other side. So bringing your attention now down to the right foot. That's going to be our rooted foot this time. So bringing all the toes up and gripping them back down. There we go. Okay. And then when you're ready, again, feeling out. So maybe your tree today is you have those toes, the left toes still on the mat, just for a little support, right? And you're just kind of feeling this out. And that is great. There is the option to bring the sole of the left foot against that calf, the right calf, or the inner right thigh. And so it's kind of a pushing, remember, a pushing in of that right thigh and the left sole of the foot to that midline of the body. And once you've got that foundation fairly steady and you got a nice focal point, unmoving focal point ahead of you, you can work on your choice of where you'd like to put the hands, okay, or the arms. And it might be totally different this time. Now, if you're noticing one side here is a little different than the other side, do realize that's totally normal. Okay, often, I know for me, one side I have definitely a lot better balance than the other side. And that it does vary day by day, to be honest with you. So just like always meeting yourself in these tough balance poses with some kindness and some compassion. We tend to put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get it right, to get it perfect, right? I know I've always had that issue. Instead of just letting it be and realizing that we get benefit from the doing of the pose in, the best we can, and that is wonderful. That is great. And that is definitely good enough. So just reminding yourself of that. There's no has to be, should be's here, just is. And there's always benefit from our practice. We're always gaining benefit from our practice wherever we're at. So just remembering it, though, that in those moments when we tend to give ourselves a little bit of a hard time. Remembering the ease of breath. One more breath. Nice. And then once you're ready, you can slowly bring the legs down, bring the arms down, and bring yourself back into your standing mountain pose. And take a moment with that right ankle joint. Give it a little TLC. All right, there we go. So very well done in our first tree pose together. So we'll meet at the head of the mat if you're not already there. And so on your next inhale, bringing the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands down through the midline, down through the heart center, hinging at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hands down to the mat. We're going to step both feet back into our downward facing dog. Hips are high. It's like pulling back of the thighs to the bottom of the mat. Let your head just hang. Fingers are spread wide. Inhale, flowing forward into plank position. You can always bring the knees down to modified plank if you like. Finding your breath. Next, inhale, pushing hips high into downward facing dog. Exhale, flowing forward, plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, forward. Last time. Inhale, downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale, taking the right foot all the way back and up, three-legged dog. Exhale, right leg forward between the hands. Lower down the back knee. Supported low lunge. Deep breath in and out. Let's bring the hands, walking the hands back, lengthening the right leg. So coming into half split. So you might need to adjust a little bit here. Coming up on the fingertips, flexing the right toes towards you. Spine is long. So you might already be getting plenty of stretch here. If you want a little more, you can hinge forward into a bit of a fold. Keep that right hip crease pulled back. Deep breath. I'm doing a lot of walking over the last few days with different activities on our trip. So I'm really feeling like, oh, calves and hamstrings could really use a nice stretch. Nice. And then on an inhale, let's walk the hands forward. And now we're going to take the right hand to the inside of that right foot. And we're going to just heel toe that right foot a little bit wider, perhaps to the outer edge of your mat. So coming into a version of lizard pose. So depending on your flexibility, you might be able to come down on your forearms. For me today, my hips are pretty tight. So I'm going to stay supported with my hands. And then just finding your breath here. So getting into that right hip joint and the right groin area. The spine nice and long. Two more breaths. All right, and then once you're ready, we can heel toe that right foot a little more towards center, bringing the right hand just to the back, to the outside of that right foot, tucking the back toes, and then we're going to step that right foot all the way back into our downward facing dog. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, coming up on the balls of the feet for a moment, and then drawing the heels on an exhale towards the mat. So they don't have to touch. You're just drawing them towards the mat to tell you feeling that nice stretch in the backs of the legs. When you're ready on an inhale, we're going to bring the left foot back and up, three-legged dog. Exhale, we're going to take the left foot forward between the hands and lower down the back knee. So coming into our supported low lunge again. Back toes can either be tucked or untucked. On an exhale, we're going to walk the hands back towards that right knee. You might need to adjust your position slightly, lengthening the left leg and flexing the left toes towards you. So walking the hands back so you're on the fingertips, drawing that left hip crease back. And again, you keeping lengthen in the spine, you might already be feeling enough stretch. If you'd like to add a little more, hinging at the hips into a deeper fold. Finding your breath. Two more breaths. Nice. And then inhale, we're going to walk our hands back forward, bring that bend back to the left knee, back into your supported low lunge to start. And then we're going to bring the left hand to the inside of the left foot, and we're heel toeing the left foot again to the outer edge of the mat, coming into our lizard pose on the other side. So again, depending on flexibility, you might be able to come down on forearms. For me, that feels a little bit beyond my edge today. So I'm going to stay here with the hands on the mat. Finding my breath. And remember, you've pushed your edge a little too far if you can't access that soft breath. Breath with ease. Your breath does not lie. Let's go two more deep breaths, staying present with your breath, present in your body. Nice. And then we're going to heel toe that left foot back towards center. Bring our left hand to the outer part of that left foot, back into our supported low lunge. And then we're going to walk our hands back towards our right knee, and we're going to guide that left knee back as well. So now we're back in our tabletop position. Okay, tabletop position. So knees are under the hips, toes are either tucked or untucked, hands under the shoulders, fingers are spread wide. And we're just going to move through a few rounds of cat and cow. So on your next inhale, belly down, chin and pelvis tilt up. Exhale, curving up the spine, tucking the chin and pelvis. And then just flow with your breath. Nice. Couple more just like that. Notice where you feel the stretch. I'm really feeling my belly and my shoulders. Sending my breath to those areas. And after your last exhale, just inhale, come back to your neutral tabletop. And now we're going to walk our hands back, sorry about that, towards our knees. And we're going to actually leave the feet untucked, and we're bringing our torso up above our knees. Okay, so I'm just going to turn so you can see. There we go. And then we're going to lengthen our right leg out to the side. So you might want to use your hands to support you. It's up to you. Okay, but we're all going to meet in this position. So the right leg is out to the side, the right sole of the foot is on the mat, and our left hip is directly over the left knee. Okay, and we're going to bring our right hand palm down on the outer right thigh. And then on an inhale, we're taking the left arm all the way up. And then exhale, we're going to come into a side bend. And we're letting that right hand slide down the right leg. Keeping the chest open. Gaze can be forward or up at the left hand if it's okay on your neck. Finding your breath. Really feeling that nice stretch all along the left side. Oh, feels great. So we're going to bring that left hand all the way up, and then we're going to bring it underneath the left shoulder. And then on your next inhale, bringing the right arm up and over on the other side. So getting all into that right side body. Gaze can be over towards the right hand or straight forward if that's best on your neck. Deep breath. Deep breath in, getting long. And then exhale, we're going to bring that right arm forward and down. And now using the hands, we're going to bring that right knee back underneath the right hip. And then we're going to transition to the other side. So you can definitely use the hands to help support or just lengthening the left leg out to your side. So making sure you've got the right hip over the right knee, left hand palm down on the left outer thigh. On an inhale, we're bringing the right arm all the way up. And then exhale, side bend towards the left. Chest is open. Deep breath. So feel that opening you're creating on the right side. One more breath. Nice. Inhale, reaching all the way up. Exhale, right hand under right shoulder. Inhale, left arm up and over. Deep breath. So try not to cave in. We're keeping the chest open. On the exhale, we're going to reach forward now and down. Use your hands to help support as you bring a bend to the left knee. And then we're going to just bring our hips all the way back onto our heels. Resting the hands, palms down on the thighs. Closing your eyes. Now, if this really doesn't feel good on your knees, you can totally come into a seated cross leg. We're just going to take a moment here. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And just taking a moment to check in with how we're feeling in our body. Taking a moment just to scan and notice the space you've created. And we're going to, before moving into Shavasana, just do one final breathing technique. So taking our dominant hand, for me, that's my right hand. I'm going to bring down my middle fingers, leave up just my pinky and my thumb. And I'm naturally just going to flow with my breath, just a nice deep natural breath. So we're moving into alternate nostril breath. So before we transition into it, I just want to mention that if you have any congestion or you're not breathing well out of your nose today, this may not be the technique for you. So just feel free to stick with your natural breath. Nice yogic breath is a great option. So the inhale, expanding belly, exhale, softening belly. But if your nasal passages are clear, feel free to join me. So on your next inhale, we're going to bring, when you're ready for your next inhale, bring your right thumb, or if it's the left hand pinky, to the outer right nostril on the inhale. And you're going to inhale only through the left nostril. Then bringing the pinky to close the left nostril. You're going to exhale through the right. And then inhale through the right. Closing the right nostril with the thumb. Exhale through the left. Nice deep breaths. Inhale through the left. Closing off the left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Closing the right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Closing the left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Closing the right. And then moving to the left side. So continue on your own. Always exhale, then inhale before moving to the other side. And the next time you exhale through the left, we'll release the technique. And then just move back into your natural breath. And just noticing how you feel. All right. And then with kindness, bringing yourself slowly down onto your back for your final Shavasana. So taking up some space here, let your feet roll apart, arms out at your sides, head in line with your spine. Get comfortable. If you need a blanket, feel free to use that. Slowly closing your eyes and taking a deep breath in and out. Letting yourself just settle in here for a few quiet moments of just rest. And slowly now beginning to deepen your breath. And you can bring a little movement into your body as feels good. Maybe giving yourself a nice stretch overhead if you like. And then slowly taking your time, but you can bring yourself to one side and pause for a few more breaths. And then slowly guiding yourself back up into seated cross-legged position. You can just let your hands rest on your knees or thighs and slowly closing your eyes. And taking a last moment here to bring back to mind your original intention that you set for yourself. So bringing that intention to mind now as we move to soon transition off our mat. Perhaps remembering the importance of that intention in the rest of our lives, off the mat as well.
And then bringing the palms together, thumbs pressed into the heart center. And taking a final moment of gratitude for our time and our space together today. Thank you all so much for joining me and sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. And thank you so much for joining me in this practice, working with tree pose. Hopefully, you feel like you got a nice overall body stretch as well, and you enjoyed the nice, slow, thoughtful pace. I felt like that was really important for me today as well. Um, and we'll see you guys back here soon for another practice together. Take care.